Welcome, everyone, to Foul Territory, the maiden voyage, the first ever show that is baseball the way it should be covered. We said something like that 1 year ago.
To the day.
Happy anniversary, everybody.
Let's go, baby.
Let's
Year
go.
Congrats, everybody.
Yeah.
Wow. Sound effects.
That was Scott's favorite music right there.
It's me at 4 a.m. later. I love it. This is awesome. Hey, Pierzynski's not here, but we love you too, AJ. Kratz, when we started 1 year ago, we were probably kind of awkward, first day of school vibes, like maybe going through the gawky periods of life, but we've come out kind of on the other side. Look at us.
It felt like less the first day of school, more the first day of big league camp. We were excited. We were in seats super early. We had one vet who was Scotty B, and we had two rookies. I guess AJ. So I was a rookie. I was sitting there like, oh man, this is going to be great. And then we're communicating. I'm like, you guys want to let me talk?
Hey, man, I was a rookie with you, dude. Podcasting, it's a different ball game. It's a lot of fun working with these guys. You guys, like I said before, all you guys make me better. I appreciate the fans out there that are watching and subscribing. This has been a whirlwind for me, and I'm having such a blast working with these guys that love baseball, that love talking about it, and have their opinions. And I think that's the best part of it. We all have our opinions. Whether you like it or not, we're going to express it. And I think that's what makes our show one of the best shows out there. So appreciate you guys.
And we highlight.
You said it right, Todd Father.
Yeah. We highlight the talent in the sport, Adam. I mean, you're going to get to talk to like 4 or 5 Braves today. That's what this is all about.
Dude, excited. I'm here at Braves camp. I was walking in the clubhouse earlier, working on behalf of Bat, and just seeing the guys, seeing the energy here. I mean, it's the smell of baseball. I know that we aren't in uniform anymore, but just to be around these guys and talk to them, and they love it. They love the fact that we are expressive and not afraid to just give the cookie cutter answers, because that's the reality of it. Is you want the honest opinion, and that's why I think a lot of players are getting back into the media role, is just to give that honest opinion and expertise, opposed to a lot of people guess. We ain't guessing. We're players. We know. So I think the public appreciates that a little bit more than a beat writer saying, "Oh well, we think and we can assume." We don't think and assume. We do and know.
Yeah, we wanted to bring those clubhouse conversations to life, but also cover the game. Also, a shout out to our boy Ken Rosenthal, the FT Senior Insider, for coming through multiple times a week and giving us the goods on trade signings and whatever else is going on in the news world, unfiltered. I'll finish with this for now, and then we can show something a little bit later in the show and talk about it more. Kratz had a line in the first few minutes of the first show last year that had me cracking up, that I caught late last night. He was like, man, we bounced around to so many different teams. I don't think there's that many good shows, so I hope I don't get bounced around here. Like, I hope they like me. Hope I can stay on one team for more than a minute.
This is nice.
It was good.
This is nice.
That is good.
Is this when you tell me I'm fired? Because this is normal.
I'm looking at the transactions. You're
Oh,
on
no.
the list here. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's fine then. That's fine.
Oh, no.
I was never on MLB trade rumors until I got fired. So once it's on there, it's already happened.
Some podcast in Germany is asking for a bag of fungos for Kratz, and I said I might as well take it for my travel ball team. So I don't know.
A whole bag of fungos?
You and Kyle Kendrick got shipped overseas.
He go.
Google it. Google it if you don't know what we're talking about. But anyway, no. In all seriousness, it's been an awesome ride, and you're not a non-roster invitee. You're on the squad for another year. So let's get to that's what he said to start off the show, because we have some fire from Brandon Crawford in Jupiter at camp with the St. Louis Cardinals. So there's a couple parts to address here. Let's start with why he ended up on St. Louis after a long career with the San Francisco Giants and a very winning career with that team as well. So he was referring to the president of baseball ops, Farhan Zaidi, when he said, quote, "The bottom line is I was not wanted back by one person whose opinion matters. So I went with a team that gave me a major league contract. The Cardinals have a long history and tradition. I've admired and respected the way the Cardinals have played throughout my career. and the way that the organization has been run. So you spend your whole career with one team, and now towards the end of his career, he moves on to a longtime rival. And I mean, we got a couple of you guys that have been in similar situations. Adam, you want to kick it off? I mean, you spent most of your life with the Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think about the Giants. I think about Posey and Crawford, especially of my generation. But it kind of sucks in a way because Crawford is loved not just by his teammates but the city. He posts, he plays the game hard. He's always, I mean, he doesn't speak much, so it's kind of crazy to see him talk because he doesn't talk. But it kind of sucks because I had that similar situation in Baltimore. I loved it there. My family loved it there. Being raised there, my kids, and then bam, you go to a whole new organization. But it's part of the game too. Is they have young guys that are coming in. After me, it was Cedric Mullins, who's still playing center field for the Orioles. So I think when you just understand that and respect that, because he moved somebody out the way also, just like I did. So if you just understand the timeline of the game, you got to respect that part. It's frustrating because he spent so much time in the city of San Francisco with his family, got championships there. He is going to be a Giants Hall of Famer. And it just sucks that he has to go out this way. He's still getting the job, which is still, the part of the blessing, but it sucks that it's leaving a bitter taste in his mouth about it. Me, I knew early on. I didn't have to go through the whole offseason of like, hey, you going to call me back? I knew in like May I wasn't coming back, so it was an easier lesson to blow. But it just sucks because he's such an icon in that organization. And just again, hopefully he goes hopefully he does something really good with St. Louis and goes back there at some point in time this summer and stick it to him.
Yeah, I think you make you make a good point there. Reading this article, as Farhan said, it was a fair assessment too, as well. In quotes, he talked about what Crawford did say about the whole situation. He said he explained, I don't want to be. I know I probably won't be that starting guy. I want to be a role player, and I want to play here for the rest of maybe a year or two later, and I'll be done. But he was copacetic with it all. This is what will happen, I understand as Crawford coming in, I want to be a Giant. I want to play here. I want to be a role player for Luciano and help these guys out and explain to them that, it'll be my job to make these players better, and this just wasn't it. So for him, it's the last straw. They didn't want him. They said, you can make the roster, just like anybody else, that last spot, and it does. It leaves a bad taste. If you're Crawford, it leaves a terrible taste in your mouth. Knowing what you did for this team, how many years you played there, what you did for the city, and now he wants one more year to be a role player, and he understands the situation and knows he's not going to be knocking on the manager's doors like, when am I going to get playing time? Man, that's a tough pill to swallow. And people be like, oh, man, he's got to earn his stripes. Well, he did. He's already earned his stripes, and that's the biggest thing. Knowing him as a person, too, couldn't ask for a better dude.
I would love to see Farhan's side of this, because he kind of waffled a little bit in the article, because B. Crawl will come on here. I texted him. He wants to get settled, so I can't promise very much, but I guess I'll fail on my promise if he doesn't come on. But Farhan said in the article, he was quoted as saying, there was a little bit internal discussion. Hey, is there going to be too much pressure on Luciano to have B. Crawl in the background, to have him over his shoulder all the time? Well, Crawford said, well, that's not going to be the case. Like, I'm not looking for playing time. I don't even think that's the best for the team. And then he said, well, he can come in and make the team. So is this just a, putting a line in the sand kind of thing, that we're not going to sign veteran guys to the $2 to $3 million guaranteed contract that, in my opinion, I think they deserve? But in the Giants' opinion, they're trying to set a precedent. We're not going to give that kind of contract to somebody who we don't feel like is value worth it on the field, because they ended up signing Ahmed Rosario, and he took the non-roster invite. So I don't know. I'd like to see what Farhan and the team's actual view on this whole thing is.
Yeah, and just for some statistical context, so people remember, the 2021 season for the Giants was ridiculous. They made a great run. That was like kind of the end of Posey, right? And Crawford had a career high 24 homers. Like, listen to the stat line here. Career high 11 swipes. He had 298. signed a 2-year, $32 million extension in August. So that's why he ran through the 2023 season with the team just now. 4th Gold Glove, 4th place MVP voting, OPS plus, hundreds league average. He was 142, and the defense was still thriving. He was a stud. Dealt with some injuries in 2022, knee, quad, forearm, etc. Right, so numbers were back down. And then last year was the worst year of his career. So I think from a GM perspective, whatever he says, he's going to say. But I think Farhan Zaidi is also going to be like, listen, he had a freaking sick year. We paid him the next 2 years for it, and then it fell off. And we've got a dude that is ready to go to replace him. And so we don't have a spot for him. So there's the business side.
And I think the way you say that, that's plenty fine. But do we think that's how it went down when they talk? I don't believe so. I think, as a player, and you've played there for that many years, and the guy, it's like, hey man, talk to me. Like let's go here. Like what? Like talk to me. What do you want to do? I think this is the best option for me. And maybe he came off strong. Maybe he just like, dude, there's not a spot. It is what it is. But the conversations are going to leave a terrible taste in somebody's mouth who's been there for that long. There's something that maybe they could have done or they couldn't. I get it. The business is a bastard sometimes, man. And I've been there before. I know all these guys have. You want what's best for you, but you also want what's best for the team as well. So there's still more to understand of what's going on, but it's not a good look right now from what I'm seeing from the brass of the Giants.
Well, there's more to the story here because everyone on the show is fun. If you're not fun, then you're not invited to FT. So the other layer of the story that many fans are asking about right now as we're talking through it is the part in The Athletic about the fun and the team and the relationship with Gabe Kapler. So It said, Brandon Crawford acknowledged his final 2 seasons under former manager Gabe Kapler were, quote, not very fun at all and not how I wanted to go out. And then another quote here. A lot of it was because of injuries and not playing well, but some of it was the lack of communication, not playing for 3 straight days without a single word spoken to me about it. It just wasn't a very fun environment. I loved the players. We had a good clubhouse for the most part, but the way it went down wasn't very fun.
I mean, how I would think about that approach is as a veteran player, you got to read the room, and the manager's office is open for you. So, like, you read the room and say, look, I haven't been playing. Go in there and be like, hey, we're grown. What's going on? And get the plan. There's times I remember we called up Mullins, and I remember Showalter's like, hey, we're going to sit you for a couple of days to let Mullins play to get these guys some at-bats. He came to me and we had a conversation like professionals. Okay. Did I like it? No, but I understood it. That's all. Communication is key. You're able to talk to these guys. We're human beings. We understand it. We understand we're getting old. We're getting gray. Our bat speed is slow. We losing a step. We understand that. But to keep the open lines of communication, that's key. And Showalter was really good with that with me. Maybe not everybody else, but he was really, really good at that with me. And I think that was the part that Crawford was hitting at, is the communication for his playing time wasn't spoken. And look, the Giants have really good talent coming up, and everybody's going to push somebody out at some point. But if you just keep the open lines of communication, and Crawford seemed like he wanted to do that by him saying, like, hey, I'll come back and be a role player. No starter ever says that. But he's saying, I want to be a role player. That means that, hey, he loves where he's at. The money's not the problem. He just wants to be around and help the next guy and the organization. That's where I got a lot of his words from.
This is not a dude that complains. This is not a dude that he goes out, he does his business. To me, when you have that much time and Gabe wasn't communicating with him, that's not feeling your room, especially on a team when you're always putting guys in and out of games, starting, not starting. Hey, we got a righty. Hey, we got a lefty. There's got to be more communication. If you're going to be an absolute platoon pirate as a manager, you have to communicate. And the lack of communication could be part of the reason that it wasn't, he wasn't brought back. And this team kind of felt like didn't meet expectations of what team Farhan Zaidi put out there.
Kratzy, Kapler well, man. I mean, is this part of his MO a little bit? He's been around. He's been talked about a lot, certain instances, examples. Like, it just seems like it always comes back to him whenever there's something going on, man. I mean, what do you think about the whole Kapler situation?
I don't know necessarily, like, day in and day out how he is in the clubhouse. I never heard anybody. I know Buster never had any problems with him, but I think, and I'm just surmising here, there was kind of a transition in the sense that when Buster leaves, he's the leader. Whether he's a vocal leader or not, you had Buster, you had B. Crawl, you had Brandon Belt. Now you go to 2023, it's just B. Crawl there. So I don't know if Cap, tried to take the reins from B. Crawl, if there was something, or it was just a miscommunication. My biggest thing with Kapler is just, and this is just a read, I never played for him, how genuine are the things that he's saying? Like how, because you hear what he says and it sounds super intellectual. He's reading poems, he's grounding himself before games, he's, petting the team dog, all that stuff. To me, like, how much is that communication followed through to the players? Because if anybody ever wants to be a manager, if you do not have communication with your players, whether you like the player, you don't like the player, you have a problem with them, he's your favorite player on the team, you have to communicate. And each of them takes a different kind of communication. And if Gabe wasn't able to feel that out with B-Crawl, to me, that's a big miss, because he is a guy in that clubhouse, seeing how unselfish he wants to be. What Jonesy said, he was a 2-time World Series champion, 4-time Gold Glove, I think. Maybe I'm shorting him a Gold Glove. But
4.
A guy that is a fixture on that team that you want to transition, you don't transition Adam Jones out of the clubhouse. You transition him out of his playing time. You don't transition B. Crawl out of the clubhouse. You continue to talk to him. Hey, I'm not playing you today. It might be 3 days in a row you're not starting. Here's why. Okay, I appreciate that.
And I'm going to finish with this, and you guys can keep going on it. It kind of says something to Crawford, like, hey, listen, if you're the brass and you don't want him around, it's like, we don't think we can win with you. That's basically what they're saying if they're not bringing you back. Hey, man, we love you to death, but, you're going to have to fight for a spot just like everybody else, that last spot. Well, that's basically saying, I don't think we can win a championship with you, bottom line, in my opinion. And you guys can disagree with me. If you don't bring somebody back who's done it for that long and don't think they can produce or anything, that's what they're saying to me.
True. Because the Dodgers, because the Giants want to win. They're not a franchise, we're rebuilding and all that. No. They are a winning organization and they want to win. So every year they put forth a team that wants to win. And like you said, if they don't want to with B. Crawl, who is a winner, as winner in the clubhouse, winner on the field, then it's just saying that, hey, we're going in a different direction. But it's not hard to say that. It's not just like, hey, look it, you're getting old, love your flow. Big league hair. But you're gonna go in a different direction. And open lines of communication, he can be like, oh, I appreciate that.
Top 3 in the game, Hair. Top 3 in the game. We're talking Pantene Pro V, we're talking Head and Shoulders, all that stuff.
He needs to be with Mahomes and the safety.
I'm the hair agent. That way they're never jealous of me.
True. Troy Polamalu commercial.
But yeah, Polamalu. I can't say his name. Hey, I'm a Ravens fan, so I can't just be throwing out the Pittsburgh Steelers name. So I ain't trying to get hurt in my own city.
Ravens said the P word. You said that off air.
Who else is in the top 3 or 5 anyway, flow wise, with Crawford? Like, is Brandon Marsh in there? Who is?
Culberson, Dansby.
Culberson, nice. Haters
nowadays, I feel like some people, they go back and forth. I'm trying to think.
Haters in there.
Harper? Haters.
Maybe.
Harper,
like
Harper, I like when he looks like just like the Bushman. He just go the full beard and the long hair. I like that. It fits the city of Philly.
Yeah, Harper's got the lumberjack look sometimes, and then you're like, oh shit.
If you go look at the Orioles, they got like 8 guys with good flow too.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they're young,
Team-wise, they get the team victory.
Team flow.
They got nobody telling them, hey, you got to cut your hair. Nope.
True.
Let them be. All right, let's go in the weeds. So Jason Stark put out an article on the continuation of shortening games, and he went over some back and forth, and it looks like we're going to have a guest joining us pretty soon, but he went over a little back and forth about what MLB can do to have the pace of play continue to be tight. Now, this one actually is interesting, and we'll probably dive more into it later, but there was a back and forth about having fewer commercials, which I'm sure most fans would be thrilled to have. And at first you see that and you're like, okay, but that's unrealistic. You're asking a league that thinks about money first to just say, nah, we're good. We'll take the revenue off. But the idea actually was from the players committee that meets about the rules, and it has to do with shortening the time between showing an ad and showing the game. So I'll give you an example here. Tony Clark said, just this idea of being able to come back earlier from a commercial break, split screen. They've done it in some broadcasts already. If you steal an extra 10 seconds or 15 seconds and how that adds up over the course of 18.5 innings, it's another place for consideration. Our boy Whit Merrifield, who's on that committee, said golf does it. They call it playing through. So they put the commercial up. They keep the coverage up. So we're seeing it. But also, I mean, there's probably still a discount. Like, I don't know if you pay the same for that versus, what you would for just a full-on ad. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know how all the economics of it work, but I know if they're losing a penny on it, Kratz, then they're probably not going to do it.
Yeah, but the playthrough ads have actually been shown to give more engagement into the product, and that's why PGA does it. But PGA doesn't have the delay in the games like we have with baseball. But the playthrough ads they're huge. Soccer started them a little bit. There's a to me it's just check with the times. See where their advertisers would be, because maybe it works. Maybe there's a way that you can not cut away from action. You can have something where it continues to roll, and now we cut down that time instead of, I'll just take it away from the players. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Now I think about the whole situation where, and I think this is a great idea in my opinion, because you're not taking away from the game. You are watching the game 24/7. Put the commercial ad up in the right-hand corner, split the screen. How many times have we seen a game where a bang, bang, something happens in the game and all of a sudden there's an argument and we'll be right back, and you miss the coach coming out arguing, we got to see the replay, or you miss, a guy that was on first base screaming to the other dugout, what are you, blah, 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 blah. That's the type of stuff that we miss. And I think that can only broaden our horizons with more people to watch. Or you could see something that happens in the dugout where excitement, it's not always going to be bad. Like all of a sudden, like a handshake, or they just did this certain play and the dugout makes fun of somebody in a happy way. Like this little things that, that we could watch that we won't miss. And I think this would be perfect, because I see it in golf all the time. And Whit Merrifield said the same thing. That's phenomenal. You got guys, basically, we're still watching people putt or hit. You just don't have the commentating. And I don't see anything wrong with that, but we always comes down to this, right, Scott?
Hell yeah.
Cash money.
Dollars and cents.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think for me, as probably a pretty prime consumer of baseball content, I will pay attention to ads more if I have a split screen. And I think our generation in general is used to paying attention to multiple things at the same time. So if there's just a little baseball action, warm-up action for pitches between an inning going on, and there's an ad, you will keep the audience more engaged. Did I nail it?
And you nailed it. And here's the advertisement playthrough proponent. The pro of it is the fact that you have an 11-second attention span. If you play 11 seconds of an ad while someone's warming up, you can watch both, and you actually engage more with that ad with other action.
That's very good. And while you were doing that, I was being told that our first guest of the day is ready from Braves camp. So Brian Snitker, manager of the Atlanta Braves, joining us right now, sitting next to Adam Jones. Snick, can you hear us? And how you doing, man? How's camp?
I can hear you. I'm doing great, and camp's been phenomenal so far.
Check out
Come
this
on,
group.
that's what you have to say.
Give me your biggest gripe right now, Snit. What's bothering you, and what's something that stands out this year versus other years where you're like, damn, I love that we have this, and damn, I wish we had this.
Yeah, I don't, I wish I was allowed to just play who I want when I want, especially on the road. And I don't know. I love it. I love everything about spring training. God, I've been doing this for so long, and this is such a great facility that we have here, and it's been good. I mean, it's a, I don't know. We've been fortunate with how great a health everybody came into camp with, and it's just a matter of getting some at bats and innings and getting this thing rolling.
I wanted to ask you, a personal friend of mine, Matt Tuiasosopo, we came up together with the Mariners. Now he's your third base coach. I know he's taking over for Ron Washington. A tough task to ask. How has he been? I know he doesn't get the accolades and the glory, but how has Tui been acclimating himself to? He's going to handle the third base coaching job.
Yeah, you know what? We brought Tui up last year for a weekend series in the middle of the summer, and that's not an easy job. I coached third base a long time. And, it's not easy to jump into a big weekend series, and he did great. And he's done a great job in our minor leagues, and I've managed Tui in the minor leagues, here in the big leagues. And he's going to do a great job and has done a great job. And he's a great worker, very knowledgeable baseball guy. And so I'm really excited for him to have this opportunity.
Awesome.
Hey, Snit, Todd Frazier here, man. How's everything going?
Good, Todd. How are you?
Good. Always good to see you. My question to you is pretty simple. You got some new guys coming in, Chris Sale, Ronaldo Lopez. It seems like everybody just jumps in line and just turns out to be pretty much the Braves way, as I like to call it, man. Is there a message that you send to these guys once they come into spring training, like, hey, be yourself? Or it's like, it just seems like every time you get somebody new, they kind of take off and flourish and turn out to be the Braves player that you want to be, and the team becomes such a better team for it. Is there a message that you give, or it's just something that naturally happens?
Well, I think it's happening here. I think because of all those guys in that clubhouse. I mean, it's a great vibe here. It's a great. It's a lot of guys that love to play baseball. They're driven to succeed. They're really good baseball players. They're young major leaguers still. That have accomplished a lot in their young careers, really, and so I think it's a place where people can do well. I mean, it's just I said the same thing about Jared Clinic when he came in here, and it's just a really good atmosphere to guys to come in. They're welcomed in. I think they appreciate how these guys play. They've seen them from afar. I think it's a place where it's fun to be. You know what? And guys enjoy playing baseball, and we've been very successful. So I think it leads to people doing well.
Is there any there's probably internal discussions, but can you tell us any of the internal discussions that you guys have had about how to succeed in the playoffs? We had some Dodgers on. Max Muncy talked about, maybe our approach as a lineup is really good for the season, but maybe we need to do something a little bit different for the postseason. Have you guys discussed, or what have you guys discussed? Because I'm sure you guys
I completely redid what we did this year compared to 2 years ago. We had normal work days, and we played 3 games. We let the fans in for free. We showed up at the same time. We did batting practice. We did our extra work, and we played a game. And I'll be honest with you. The biggest thing we haven't done is hit. And I just don't think in baseball. I always worry about 4 days off at the All-Star break, but everybody's going through that, not just a couple of teams. It's hard to hit velocity when you haven't seen anything in 5 days. So that's my biggest thing. We had a team that set all these records and everything offensively, and we didn't hit much in the postseason. I don't know that it's approach. I think it's just a matter of, I don't like the system, quite honestly. We're going to have to deal with it. We better figure it out, because we're going to try like hell this year to win the division and have 5 days off again. I mean, we can change all the focus and all that we want. I think, as an offensive player, when you're not seeing, the lights aren't on, the juices aren't flowing, and you're not seeing velocity like you're going to face in the playoffs, it's hard to score. That being said, we added some velocity to our bullpen, and hopefully we can keep the other guys from scoring until we get our sea legs under us, and and our offense can get kicking.
All right, I'll give you an option. I have Rob Manfred on the phone right now, and he said, Snit, he goes, you guys get the choice. You win the division. Do you want the days off, or do you want to go right away and play to 23? You play the Marlins. You play the wild card. Would you want that option?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd like to play. I'd like to take, somebody. It's funny because somebody asked Chipper last year, say, "What you guys used to do when they did that?" And I said, he said, "We never did it." It was always this system. I don't know that I want an option. I just want the thing to be where, it's more conducive to maybe taking a day or two off and playing and not having all that time off with the same ramifications for, the outcome.
No, I agree. Oh, go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, stay on that because mine is about this Cunha guy.
No, and I'll finish. And I was a big proponent of the same thing, Snit. I complained. I'm like, bro, there's too many days. Kratzy and I had this argument. I said, there's too many damn days off, bro. If I don't see live pitching in a game situation, you can do as much live as you want off the field. It's not the same as preparing for playing against, Yamamoto or whoever it is that you're going to face in the playoffs. It's not the same thing. Guys are goofing around. Oh, yeah, I'll step in. Let's go. It's not the same. And I think you're right. They have to figure something out where it's a day or two, not 5 days. And I'll leave it at that, and we can move on.
All right. I wanted to ask about Acuna, a guy who had 40 and 70 last year. I mean, that's unheard of. Barry Bonds tipped his cap.
Yeah.
How do you rein him in, bring him? He's on top. How do you bring him and keep him normal? And what season are you expecting from him? 40-70 is hard to duplicate, but 40-40, I mean.
No, you know what? It's this kid. He has so much fun playing. He wants to play. I had to talk him out of and convince him that it really wasn't going to do him any good to play 162 last year because that's what he wanted to do. And there was a couple of doubleheaders, and he was set on it because he missed so much time the year before that he wanted to play 162. And the kid loves to play baseball, but it's kind of helping him understand that it's just about having him out there and productive, and he doesn't need to play 162. So right now, I mean, he's just maturing as a young man, as a father, as a husband, the whole thing, and he's having the time of his life right now. Which I said, why wouldn't you? I'd love to be in that body and play baseball. I mean. But it's fun to watch because the kid, I said too, he might be the only guy that's capable of breaking his own records.
It's amazing what he did. I want to talk about pitching a little bit. Bryce Elder, Ronaldo Lopez, I think they're battling right now for that fifth spot. If I'm not mistaken, I know everybody's battling first spot, but those two especially. How do you see that turning out? And can you talk a little bit about both of them and what they bring to the table for your squad?
Love both of them. I love getting Lopez in that trade because I saw him from afar. We played against the White Sox last year, and I thought that was a great get for us. We're still early. You know what? This thing will just, we'll play this thing out till the end of the month and see where we're at, what makes our club better. We got Bryce was 12-4, I think, last year, made the All-Star team. Lopez has started before, and so we just, it's an option. You always get 6 or 7 guys stretched out in spring training, and he's just another one that we're going to get stretched out. So we'll just evaluate at the end of spring, see where we're at, and what makes our club the best.
Hey, Snake, give me the lineup breakdown right now. Where are we at, and what are you thinking? Any decisions that you think need to be made?
No, probably used the same stamp I had last year, except put Kelnick in there.
How often will Kelnick be in there?
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Kratz.
No. Like where's Kelnick going to fit in there? Where or how often
he's probably going to fit in at 9. You know what?
That's
I'm not
nice
going to, I know as a young player, it's kind of like, it's not too bad hitting 9, and you got Ronald Acuna sitting there behind you too. So they're going to be thinking twice about bringing a lefty in on him with Ronald in the, laying in the weeds. So Michael Harris hit 9th last year and had a pretty good year.
Yes,
I want to hit 9 for y'all.
Yeah.
Where's Harris then? Where would he go?
He'll go up in the meat of the order. I probably look at him as like 6, 7, something like that, depending on who's catching. But our we're pretty set, probably 1 through 5, 6. So Michael may slot in at 7 and then bump RC up just to break up the left-handers.
How many? We're going to have Michael Harris on here on here later. How many times do you have to go to Michael Harris when he's hitting, all-star numbers, when he's doing what he did last year, and you're like, hey, big fella, you're hitting 9th again? Like, how many times do you have to talk to him and, like, not console him, but we're all egotistical. I didn't want to hit 9th, and I sucked.
Well, you didn't, because you hit 8th most of the time, because there's always a pitcher behind you.
I did hit 8th. Thank you. The worst hitter hits 8th. The worst hitter on the team hits 8th. That is fact. Look it up.
You know what? Once that thing rolls around, and you know what? As long as you're in the way I look at it, you're in the lineup, and you know what? That's what kind of lengthened our lineup, was having a guy like Michael hitting 9th. And I get a little worried that he was doing so good right there. I didn't want to screw all that up either and change that mix. So, Michael's versatile. He could probably hit anywhere in the lineup. I mean, this kid, and he's going to work his way up to hitting in the meat of the order at some point in time in his career. And it's just, but he's still a young player, and you know what? It's just whatever's going to make our club better, where you can hit to extend our lineup is what I'm looking at.
I absolutely love your honesty, and I love how you even understand, like, hey, Kelenick's going to be in the 9-hole, and I think that's phenomenal. But we've been talking about communication as a manager earlier in the show, and I want to ask you a question about communication, whether you're young or old. Are you a manager that's going to communicate with your guys, say, hey, man, I always bring up Dusty Baker because he was really good at it. He said, hey, Frazier, listen, you're probably playing Tuesday, maybe Friday and Sunday. It could change, but at the same time, be ready. Even as a young player, first 2 years, are you big on communication? Is that something you strive on, especially with your ball club?
Absolutely. I mean, it's like I tell the guys, my door's always open, and if you come in, I'm going to tell you the truth. I said, I wasn't told the truth my whole career. And I said, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. You're grown men. You can handle it. And another thing is, I don't want them to come to the ballpark and be surprised by the lineup. They know that they're going to play, where they're hitting, the whole thing every day before they come. And I'll either tell them the night after the game, or if something happens and I roll over in bed and the lineup comes to me, I'll text them in the morning with what I'm fixing to do.
Hey, Snit, last one. I know you probably saw some moves from the Dodgers as well this offseason, and a lot of people are like, they're the team to beat now, even though you guys have dominated for years. So what's your message to fans about the Braves still, and what did you think about the Dodgers?
You know what? We got to play the game. That's why we're getting ready to play this marathon here in another month. We're going to play 7 months of baseball. I don't even look at that anymore. It doesn't bother me. You know what? We've been on the outside looking in a lot of years and things like that, but we still got to play the games, and a lot can happen over the course of that 7-month season. So it doesn't bother me one bit.
Snip, before we let you go, I just want to know, how do the coaches get through 162? Players, we know we do it. It's a lot of Ben Gay, cold tubs. How do the coaches get through 162? There we go. Tito.
Your keto longevity. You look great, Snit. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of camp. See you this season, all right?
All right. Good to see you guys.
Cheers. Thank you. Brian Snitker with us. That's good stuff right there. Atlanta Braves manager.
I was smiling from ear to ear.
Really?
He already know. Hey, he's going to bat 9th. I'm honest. Boom. He's already saying that, and you don't see that from many managers. It kind of got me fired up a little bit because, oh, no, you can get the simple answer like, hey, man, spring training just started. We don't know where. No, listen, bro. I've been thinking about this lineup since day one, since we got all these players, and I freaking love that, dude. Hey, he's going to bat 9th. Take it or leave it.
Straightforward.
Boom. Bam.
And he can still be, because you're straightforward, you can still be, kind of cryptic about his answers, because when you ask about Ronaldo Lopez and Bryce Elder, like where they're going to slot in, he didn't give, like he wasn't like, that's solidified. So as a player, if you hear his interview, oh, yeah, okay. I know there's still a challenge here. Kelenic, maybe he's a guy that needs to know he's hitting 9th, and then he can slot in there and figure that out. Like he has a very plug-and-play team. I like how he said, stamp the lineup. He's got a stamp for sure.
Hey, 2 things. He said, my 1 through 5's already said. I know Kelenick's batting 9th. But that doesn't mean he still can't change it. Somebody's going to need a day off, and Kelenick's going to have to bat 4th or 5th or 6th one time. That's just the way it goes. So pretty much solidifying where he goes and having him as a 9-hole hitter. Are you shitting me? Come on, man. Atlanta Braves, let's go. I'm fired up for the Braves, and I've never been fired up for Atlanta in my life.
Thinking about their lineup, like I wonder, like who, because everybody plays off each other. Yes, Acuna is the MVP. Yes, I think Albies is a guy that he's the straw that stirs the drink. I think Austin Riley and Matt Olson have done what they've done and continue to do it. My thing is, what happens if you have to move a Michael Harris into the 2 slot? Does that put more pressure on him? Does he do well seeing, hey, you can't allow him to get on base because you have 2 guys, the next 2 hitters, who can hit dingers. Lineups play off of each other. So I like thinking about, okay, who is going to be that number 5 guy that's kind of the protection for the entire lineup? Acuna can do his own thing. Olsen can score his own run by nobody on base. So all that stuff goes into when managers make their lineups. And it's more than just how the numbers plug into a system and figure it out, because you pitch to how a lineup is set up.
Well, speaking of that lineup and that man that you just mentioned, he's ready to go with us right now. Michael Harris II joining us. Money Mike is out there with Jonesy at Braves camp. Mike, great to have you on, dude. You having a blast at camp now that you got a few seasons under your belt? You can have a good time with the boys, and it's basically the same team every year since everyone's locked up to extensions.
Oh yeah, for sure. Glad to be down here. Good weather, and it's fun to be with the guys and try to go at it this season.
Expectations for you, brother. It was great. First off, you look great. You look in great shape. But the expectations for you. I'm hoping for a Gold Glove. I know you you want to do something like that. But expectations for yourself. 3rd year, you're maturing into the one of the best center fielders of the game. What can you do to get better?
I guess just start out the way that I finished the year last year, and just trying to be more consistent. Just trying to clean up some of the small things and. Just trying to stay a good teammate and help the team win.
Sure. You talk about more consistent, brother. You had a really good year last year, dude. So I want to dive into your repertoire, like how you get going. Talk about your routine a little bit. I think, as young men and women coming up and playing this game, they don't understand batting 9th is not always the worst thing in the world. You're batting 9th on a professional team. Explain to the young kids out there, batting 9th is great. I'm going to go out there, and you still did your business. And now guess what? You reap your benefits now. You're probably batting higher in the lineup. So talk to us a little bit about positivity and your routine about your everyday work.
Yeah, with this team, batting 9th is, I guess, it's a blessing because once you get through the first 8, the pitcher's already exhausted. So he's giving me all the fastballs and all the hittable pitches. So I was having fun down in 9-hole, but I just had the same routine. Didn't really change much. If I was struggling, I would, I guess, try to narrow down on what was the problem, or just trying to, I guess, minimize some of my movements and just trying to stay focused. But yeah, batting 9th wasn't the worst thing in that lineup.
Who's that guy for you? Who do you go to when you're struggling, when you had that, the slow start, like you said? I'd love to have a slow start and have an over 800 OPS. But hey, you know what? Grind it out, kid. Grind it out. But who's that guy? Who do you go to? Like, who do you go? Is it a player? Is it a coach? Is it an assistant coach? Is it a home, somebody from home that you just got to call and tell you to get your swing right?
I feel like it's just a mixture of everybody, just using the whole team. It was good to have Chipper in the cage with us from time to time. Talking to some players, obviously some lefties that I can relate to and kind of have the same approach as me. So just knowing who to talk to, and I guess exactly what I'm looking to get out of them, and just trying to piece it together to fit with my game. This thing does not stay.
Hey, don't ever stay in. Don't worry about it, man. You guys have new coaches here with Tom Goodwin and my guy Matthew Esosopo. I want you to ask about Washington and EY Senior. Guys who are just career baseball guys, tremendous acumen to the game. Mm-hmm. How were they for you? How were they for you?
They were huge. Obviously, they've been in the game for a while and they know a lot about the game. So just like anything else, I try to take bits and pieces of what they've done and what they know to try to add to my game and make me a better player. So, it was fun having them, and I'm excited for Goody and Tui now. So, I think it'll be another fun season.
Hey, so I see your headband there, a little Scooby-Doo action, brother. Are you gonna have a bunch of different ones going on this year? Because I tell you what, this could be an ongoing trend here.
Oh yeah, if you look at my locker, I have a loop. It's like 50 of them on there. So I don't wear the same one back to back. Except last year I did when I was getting a hit. I wore the same one.
I'm saying, what if you get hot?
Normally I don't, but I guess last year I was struggling, and then I started getting the hits wearing the same one. I went back to back. Like I went a week straight with like the Black Panther one. I had a hit every day. So that one was working. So I had to run that one back a few times.
Can you give us a couple examples of any? Or it's a surprise during the year? You give us at least one or two. What you're gonna rock besides Scooby?
I'm gonna wear all of them, but I got some new ones this offseason. I think Willy Wonka one.
Nice.
I got this one.
Yeah.
I got a Batman one. I mean, the ones I already had, my favorites have like dollar sign. Well, not dollar signs, but like money's on them.
Okay. Yeah, they better be hundies. They better be hundies, not dollars.
Yeah. Looney Tunes, Space Jams. There's one with some kissy lips on it.
All right.
I love that one. Yeah.
Love that. Hey, Mike, you got a stolen base total in mind this year? You got to see last year what the rule changes produced, right? For your boy Ronald Acuna Jr. to pop off. I know you got 20 plus, but I feel like you got at least 40 plus in you, no?
I mean, we'll never know. I guess.
What do you think? Like, what do you think you can pull off in the bigs with the way that the rules have changed and obviously the speed that you have if you got a full season in it?
Full season, healthy, going good. I say at least 35.
I like that.
Hey, one center fielder to another. I made a pretty solid catch. WBC, taking a ball from my guy Machado. Situation, I'll go in situation. It was a big situation. Game 2 last year against the Phillies. First off the bat, I'm a hitter also. Off the bat, I'm like, man. And then I'm watching this, I'm like, ain't no damn way. And then first off, you got a strap to get it back to the infield. You missed a cut in Albies, but that don't matter because the third baseman's in line. But when you're running for this ball, like I know my process. I don't really want to hit this wall. It hurts. Yeah. What's your process in this whole thing? And then like me, I blanked out when I blacked out. When I caught that ball and I threw it back, I blacked out. And your energy right there is showing me the same energy. So how was that whole play?
Yeah. Castellanos was swinging it good the whole game, so I was anticipating him.
And you're shaded to right center too.
Yep. And I think I had the pitch come on, and it was fastball outside or something. So I knew it was going to be somewhere that way, so I kind of anticipated it. And on the way there, I was just telling myself I'm not going to stop because obviously I know the wall. The wall is pretty hard, especially that one where it's separated. It has like chain link fence. Mm-hmm. So I said I was going to do anything to get this ball in my glove and get the ball back in. So, yeah, at that point, I didn't know where I was. I was just the only one on the field at that point and just doing whatever.
You get to do it at home. I did mine. It was USA Dominican. I didn't get to just celebrate with just Orioles fans. You got to celebrate that. And it was in the game with your whole team. I mean, and then obviously the Arcia and Harper thing and all that kind of stuff. But that play right there that's one of the best plays I've ever seen. And I'm sure they've shown that with Otis Nixon's play in the playoffs too, because two iconic plays in the same area.
Yeah. You had take us after you did that fist pump, just child celebration, like no inhibitions, like you were juiced. How did you feel coming off of that field, celebrating with your team? Were you guys like, there it is? That's the play it's going to take us to the World Series.
Yeah, I guess for me, I grew up a Braves fan my whole life, so I was going to the games and I was once in the stands watching some great plays happen. So it was kind of one of those things where I realized now I'm making the play and I guess it was in front of the same people that I was probably sitting with a couple years ago. So, yeah, honestly, I feel like we thought we got the I guess momentum going then, and I guess it just didn't happen the way we thought.
All right, so some moves were made this offseason to boost the pitching staff, and you've got a little friend out there in the outfield joining the party who's been a big prospect in the league for years, had a big first half of the season last year for Seattle. What's life been like with Jared Kelenic? What's he saying? He was on the show for a while a few weeks ago, and he seems motivated and like he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, for sure. You can tell he has a chip on his shoulder, and he just wants to do good. So, yeah, he's my throwing partner now. We're pretty much doing everything together, and yeah, he's ready to go. He's eager to do good by the fans and for himself. Just show what he's got. I'm excited to play by him and just see what he has.
You think you guys have the best outfield in the game?
Yeah, I would say so. Okay. Yeah, it's
a damn good outfield.
I would say it's up there, yeah, for sure.
And one of the best throwing outfields in the game too, which I take pride on the throwing guys out too. It ain't just about catching, it's preventing guys from going extra base. And you say you got the best outfield in the game, I'm gonna agree with that.
I think it's top 3.
Okay. You're going back on your words.
No. I'm saying it's up there.
You got to show respect to that team. I mean, the Yankees have a very good outfield, and but you guys, it's going to be fun to watch you guys this year.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because there's extensions all around the clubhouse. It's it's your locker, empty locker, extension, empty locker, extension. How often does that come up? But also, how often are you guys comparing each other's extensions so that we know who pays for what at dinner?
I don't even think we talk about who's paying for anything. Olsen just always steps up and buys everything because obviously he's the big dog, I guess, and he just bought the whole team some customized belts, so he's paying for it. He's big dog on campus, so we're sitting back and letting him do his thing.
So I want to ask a contract. I signed a contract. I didn't get I didn't go to free agency. You signed an extension before free agency and before your arbitration. How did that happen? Because again, there's a lot of young prospects, a lot of young talent in the league. They get extensions. Some guys do, some guys don't. How did the team come to you and present this to you?
It was like I've been up there for like a month and a half, and Dana Brown came to me and asked if it was something I would want to do, and I said, yeah, let's do it and let's see the options I have. So ever since then, it started, and I guess here we are today. I felt comfortable with it. I'm at home, don't have to go anywhere. Team I love, a team I know that's gonna be in a position to win every year. So just something I wanted to do early and hopefully go get another one.
And how is it playing at home? You and Olsen are locals. So you guys, like I said, you grew up going and watching these guys play and watching the Braves colors your whole life. Now your family and friends, they get to see you in that. How full circle, I should say, is that?
It's great. Just having that support system there every night. Even on the road, to have family that'll come to games. So it's just great to be a part of this organization, and I guess wear their jersey every night and represent them.
Because if you're a Philly, I know how you Southern folks are. They'll root for you, but they ain't gonna root for you all the way. They'll root for you individually, but they ain't root for you to win. Y'all Southern folks keep y'all respect to your team. And I really appreciate that. So like with your parents and family, like just it's full circle. Everybody gets to root you on in a good way and get to support you. And I think that I can't imagine that being a bad thing.
No, never. I mean, just good to see people behind you and just trying to have your best interest.
Yeah. Last thing for me, signing that deal, was there a special toy or anything you bought for yourself? Did you feel froggy and go get something fun for yourself after that contract?
Nah, because I already had my car, so
okay.
Ooh, whoops.
Nice. What kind of car you got?
Didn't really need to get it. I got a BMW X6 M.
All right.
Oh, the M. Oh, we got to throw the M in there. Not the X40. We got the M.
we got humble brags all over the place. You ain't get a bag or nothing. You ain't get like a Louis bag or like some like Tom Ford or anything.
No.
Nah, I'm a cheap guy. I'm a cheap guy.
Jones, when he signed his extension, he got a bunch of CDs. He bought some CDs for himself.
I bought a Raptor. Right? Me and JJ Hardy was talking. He's like, I want this. He's like, I'm gonna buy a Raptor. Okay, I'm in Baltimore.
There you go.
The Rolls Royce does not fit in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Get yourself a Raptor.
That's sick. Hey, Michael, thanks for swinging by, man. Have fun the rest of camp. We're excited to see the team out in the regular season here, and we'll see you down the line, all right?
All right. Thank you for having me.
Cheers. Appreciate you. Michael Harris joining us on FTLive. That is a ridiculous outfield.
Oh, my God.
Between Harris and center, obviously Acuna is the best outfielder in the league. And then Kelenich's ceiling is still really, really high.
God.
This was a guy that was talked about for a while. You've seen bits and pieces in the bigs. They've got a book on him, right? He's had to make an adjustment. He kind of did.
Part of it.
League adjusted back again. Yes. You in the back.
I'm calling from the Bronx. I'd like to talk about our outfield.
Oh, how you doing?
Okay, but
Which do you
some of the
think?
fans were chiming in saying Soto's
that, too.
defense.
I was thinking that.
Soto's defense is. I mean, that's where it's
Who do you
split
take?
for me too. What?
Who do you take? Verdugo, Judge, and Soto, or Acuna, Michael Harris, and Kelenic.
Do you like offense or defense?
That's not what I asked you.
Together. You got to put it together. I'm
The whole kit
taking
and caboodle.
Yankees by this much.
Mm-hmm.
Jonesy, who
Okay.
you got?
Oh, I mean, that defense is going to be spectacular for the Braves. I know that.
It's a big outfield too, though. You got to play that ball.
It's a big outfield, and those guys can play it. These guys can run.
No doubt.
Judge
Judge has got
is
gold.
a center fielder now. Judge is a center fielder now, but is he going to, like we talked about it at their camp, is he going to play 150 games in center? I think the best option is for him to play 100 in center and keep him fresh. Offensively, I mean, Judge and Soto are, we were talking two of the top 5 players in baseball, top 10 players in baseball. You got, obviously, Acuna being the best player right now, but if you go full circle, man, these guys are preventing a lot of runs over here in Atlanta. And so, again, like you said, Todd, Father, you go a little bit with the Yankees. I'm going to go a little with the Braves just because I think the defense and the athleticism that they have is just a little bit more than the Yankees. But the Yankees are
Let's go a little further. Who's the backup for the Braves? Who's their number 4 outfielder? Do we know?
Ozuna?
No. Ozuna, no.
No, definitely not.
No. I see him at first base today. He's taking ground balls at first base.
Ozuna is not.
I'm
he's
saying,
the DA.
now if we go to depth and we give Judge a little break, or we got. I'm talking like I'm still playing. You got what's his name, Grisham.
Okay. Grisham's got gold in center.
So I mean, I'm putting the sprinkles on the cake. I want everything. So I need the backups to be ready to go too. So that's why I'm giving Yankees a little smidgen. Just a little smidgen.
Okay. Scotty, who you got?
I will go.
You're gonna break the tie.
I'm gonna go Braves.
I'm out of here.
FT says the Braves. Then you broke the tie.
I'm gonna go Braves.
No,
it's
all
tough.
good. You can't go wrong. You can't.
The
go
Yankees
wrong.
on offense, that outfield it's better. My other thing, actually, that sort of put me over the top as well is Atlanta is so durable. It's the player personnel. It's the strength conditioning training, that whole deal too. We all know that matters. That's why when Todd Father was like, who's the backup? It's funny. When you say who's the backup in Atlanta, everyone laughs. It's like a joke. No one knows the backups. They never get to play. Actually, if we had more time with Snit, that was going to be one of my questions. When you sign a player that's more of a bench guy, do you say, hey, congrats, and I apologize in advance because you're not going to play much?
I'm sure he does.
That's how it works. I'm just saying, I mean, like Kratz, for me, I love Judgy to death, right? He's one of the top 5 dudes in the game. He missed half the year last year and kind of a fluke injury to an extent. But I don't love him playing center field really at all. Maybe a fifth of his games, maybe. But it just sounds like they're going to throw him out there more than I would like to see. And we got to keep him on the field. So with Atlanta,
I don't see a backup outfit. I mean, I'm seeing 2 guys' names on
Luke
here.
Williams is on the roster there. Forrest Wall's having a
JP Martinez.
Yeah, they're having
not
good
known
spring
yet.
training.
They're not known yet. That's all.
No.
And you know what? And nowadays, it's like, they're getting rid of the veteran guys nowadays. So it's like maybe these two dudes are studs. So, yeah, I'm sure they will be. These guys are good at playing Atlanta. All of a sudden, this another guy, just like in Baltimore. Where the hell did this guy come from? Well, he's a beast. So it's like, here we go again. So you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
No, you can't.
That's all I'm going to say.
No. And I just say that the hardest thing, though, is that, like, they're penciling in Judge to play center field. It is demanding. Like, he can, and again, he can do it. I'm not saying he can't do it. He can 100% do it. It's just demanding. That's the only thing I'm saying. As somebody who did it a lot, it is a demanding position. And it gets harder as you get older. And he got with the bad toe, it's just a hard, demanding position. Again, I think he's gonna do great, but to play 150 plus in center field, that is a lot on them legs, because no matter what, center field is right in the middle of everybody. You never have a day off from defense. In right field, Yankee Stadium, you can walk right out to right field. You don't even have to jog out the dugout. Just walk and play some catch with the guy and get to your position. But center field, you have to run out there, and it's the same every single game for 162. So that's what I'm saying. It's taxing on the body. That's what I'm saying. If he can play 100 games out there, have Grisham spell him sometimes, and again, the health of Stanton is going to be very important, because if Stanton is healthy, it's going to be harder for Grisham to play. You're going to have all of those guys out there. If there are any injuries, then you can move Judge a little bit. But it's just going to be a demanding. And I'm excited to see it, too, because, again, he's defeated all the odds anyway. When he first came in, they were like, he's too big to do this, maybe do it. And then, obviously, he's one of the best players in the game. So I'm excited to see him defeat the odds.
What do you know? What do you know? I got to check Baseball Reference. I don't think you ever played center field.
You ever watched WBC in San Diego?
Yeah. You're playing. Were you on the U.S.? Were you an international player? Were you on the USA team? Is that where it was? I gotta look it up.
I play with Colombia, papi. I with Colombia.
Hey, Colombia. Hey, papi.
No, their center fielder. I don't remember this time, but last time Tito Polo, he was good. That's real. He was good, dude.
Dude, he was good. He robbed all of our hits. We played it again. He was playing. He wasn't playing no doubles. He was playing concessions. Okay, he came in on every ball. That dude was out there. I seen him with peanuts, hot dogs, and a fly ball. Dude was playing so deep on us, but again, he had to, because Team USA is coming out with that firepower.
He was coming in on triples.
All right, so while we have a moment, we still have more guests that'll join us coming up from Braves camp, including Ozzie Albies. So if you have questions for him, let us know in the chat. It is a reminder to you that it is our 1-year anniversary. FT has just turned 1. It's just a little bitty baby. So we have a little clip to show you about some funny moments from FT from the first year, and then we'll talk about it.
I mistimed my pregame coffee. In the middle of the first inning, I'm like, goodness gracious. I said, I don't care where this pitch is. This at-bat is ending first pitch. As soon as I touch home plate, it was like, it's straight to the bathroom. No high fives, straight to the bathroom.
Yeah, man. But see, I was more interested in the cockfighting. He's got some badass roosters, bro. He's got like some pretty high-priced cocks, man.
Whoever gets them, I mean, they're instantly better. I mean, they're instantly playoff bound, and that's how good he is. It's super neat to watch someone at one of the best players in the game play at the top.
Todd wants to know if 4.5 inches is huge or not.
To me, it is.
To you, it is? Yeah.
Oh, man, baby.
When you first came up, what's that average velo of the fastballs and the just average velo on everything, man? Talk to me.
All right, so I'm going to give you this. If you threw around 94, that was throwing some cheddar.
It's unbelievable. I don't know where this game's going to go in about 2 to 3 years. I mean, it's here.
When we bring him in, it's our first ever guest doing this live on Foul Territory. The great Adam Wainwright joining us.
Best athletes on the field, and AJ knows it.
I tried to find a perspective that made it as easy as possible on me, and I feel like I was in a win-win situation either way. I was thanking God between innings, like just the situation that I was in, and I was just going to go out there and just fill up the strike zone, and whatever happens, happens. I mean, it's win-win. And the fact that it ended up, the way it did and finishing that no-hitter, it was incredible.
Wow, there's a lot of people here. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm not crying.
que
I'm
Ozzie.
crying. Hey, we got Ozzie joining us in just a sec, but while they're getting him all set up, Kratz, you're probably one of the more like emotional dudes on the squad. So, your thoughts?
He's a baby.
He's a baby.
Super blessed. When you're done playing, you hope you can make an impact on the game in some way. I think some people come out of the game and they're like, I'm going to do this because I've been selfish my entire career and everything's about me. Well, you know what? When you're done, it's not. And to be able to be on this show, stay connected to guys in the game, like guys that, I don't know, I never met Michael Harris II, but through this show, I'm able to have a connection. He probably doesn't know who I am, but there's a connection there that the game has imparted us an opportunity as a player to give back. And hopefully my whole goal for this show, and I think we've done it and exceeded expectations for this first year, is to grow the game, because it's a game that I think fans that don't watch a lot can find a perspective that players have on it that they can connect with.
And it's new friendships, it's new personalities, it's new opinions, and it's new fun stuff for us to learn more about other players and how they tick and what they want to talk about and their feelings. And I think that's the biggest part. You get to feel what these guys are doing off the field and their livelihoods and get things off their chest too as well. So, and I think that's the best part of it. And then we get to talk about stories that we had that nobody really has heard yet either. So I think this is why this is the fun part of being on this show, and it's incredible. I'm having a great time.
And also, we use the phrase, the world is our clubhouse. So let's bring in our next guest, because that's part of the fun of this show too, is hearing you guys give shit to the players and also ask fun questions. So joining us for the first time on Foul Territory, Ozzie Albies right now. Ozzie, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
We're great. How's Jonesy looking? Is he still in shape? Can he come out and camp for a day?
Oh, yes. He still looks like he can pick that bat up and hit a ball 400 feet for sure.
Not your bat, though. You still have the heaviest bat on the team?
I think so. Me and Travis is going back and forth, but I'm thinking so. He grabbed one today, and he's like, yeah, I like that.
I like that. My man, Kibazi, for you guys don't know, I know a little bit of Papiamento, okay? Scope taught me. But no, getting back to, the fresh start, new year, new spring training, new expectations. What is Ozzie Albies doing as a vet now? Not just a young kid. You're a vet. You're well known. You're an all-star. What is Ozzie Albies doing to get himself ready for a grind of 162? Because I know you hate sitting.
Oh, yeah. I hate being on the bench. Ned knows that. Every time he's like, hey, we want to give you an off day, he knows it's like a little fight here and there because, you work hard for 162 plus because of all the postseason and spring training games you got to play. Mainly it's maintaining myself healthy. That's the main thing, work out in the gym, do all the mobilities I got to do to keep myself on the field. And then from there, just work. It's not about quantity, it's quality work to keep me, in the good route to play a whole season and be, successful for when I need to be successful with the team to help the team win.
That's awesome, man. You look great, dude. Hope all is well with you, brother. I'm glad I'm not playing at third base anymore against you because I didn't know what the heck you were going to do. First and foremost, I wanted to talk about your swing a little bit, dude, because as a defender at third base, you're batting right-handed. You get that big leg kick, right? All of a sudden, I'm like, shit, is this guy trying to knock one down my throat here? And then all of a sudden, line drive to right field. Like, talk to me a little bit about the leg kick. Sometimes you go a little higher. Sometimes you don't do it as much. Tell the people out there, is there a method to your madness of what type of swing you're trying to do, or is it just, a feel during the game? Sometimes you bring it up higher than others. So talk to us about not having the same swing each time, because if you have the same swing, you're not going to hit all that well.
Exactly. It's not about, having the same swing. Let's say, to me, if there's a guy on second and we 0-0 early in the game, I got to move him. I got to create that run for the team. So that's when you will see me do the leg kick even lower, just control myself, control my swing, and hit the ball the other way so I can move the runner, or even drive him in if I hit a base hit. Sometimes there's nobody on. There's a pitcher, you see the ball great off. You do the bigger leg kick because I know I'm going to put a good swing on this ball and hit it hard somewhere, like you said. To me, main thing is timing the pitcher with my leg kick, and from there, I swing a heavy bat. So I got to just put the barrel on the ball and let the rest take care of himself.
I want to ask about just getting older in the game, dude. You look great. You are in physical shape. What are you going to do to, again, maintain this body? What is your routine? Like you say that, okay, I do the plyometrics, I do this, but what are the things? Me, I was a kettlebell guy. Yeah. I like to make sure my legs is
same way. Same way.
Is it similar for you?
Yeah, so I use the kettlebell a lot in the gym. Wolfie, my gym trainer we have here, he is a big guy on the kettlebell.
Okay.
Especially like rows, keep my shoulders strong. With the leg, he's always doing like single leg squats, and we stretch a lot also. He's a big stretch guy. He likes for you to be as loose and athletic possible. So for me, it's going to the gym once a series just to maintain my body healthy and strong for 7 weeks out of the day you're playing baseball.
Very true.
You're already a lot in your legs, but you got to maintain the small muscles here and there too to keep them going.
All right, so you're an island boy. You're not the islands that we know in terms of Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Dominican Republic. You're from Curacao. Is it the same motto? You can't walk off this island? Because Dominicans, we know they swing in that bat. And all the guys that I played with from Curacao, they swing. You got to start with Simon, Andrew Jones, Scopey. Like you guys, Profar, you guys come out off that island swinging.
And you,
how
Jonesy?
is that? Yeah, I mean, I'm Dominican, Bobby. I'm Dominican. I'm Dominican. But it's like just the motto of Curacao, because you guys in the Little League World Series, you guys are arguably one of the best. And then there's a gap. But then you guys are really strong coming into baseball right now. With the WBC, you guys are implementing some really good talent. Trump, the catcher here.
Yes.
Like, how has that been, first off, just being you're the face of Curacao right now.
Yeah, I mean, coming from there, I want to represent my island for sure. It's a small island. Andrew Jones, Randall Simon, Brandon Milne, Scopey, Simmons, Profar, all these guys, even Didi.
Yeah, Didi.
Like, we come out, we represent the island, we play as hard as we can. There's a lot of talent. We want to show it out there so people know that we have the talent to play good baseball. And to me, play as hard as I can. That's my number one thing. Hustle every play I do. Every time I put the ball in play, I hustle. That's the part of my game also. So to me, it's playing hard. Good things can happen. And as you guys see, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Hey, Ozzie, I got a fan question for you from Patrick. He said, would playing the Dodgers in the regular season feel like the World Series, like Mookie Betts said? Does all the Dodger talk put a chip on the team's shoulder?
Yeah, I mean, playing the Dodgers is always a good series in general. The game is hyped, and the energy is high. Your adrenaline is high, everything, because it's the Dodgers. And the same way when they play against us, you kind of feel like it's a postseason game all the time. So, after those games, whoever win, you're going home and you're all watching highlights, watching what happened, how you're going to be better tomorrow. It's fun when you play great teams. So I'll say, as we know, it's always a postseason game when you play good teams.
What about rivalries? What about rivalries for you guys? Like, I mean, does it get better for you guys than the Phillies-Braves rivalry, or is there someone else in the division that you guys kind of look at?
I think, with Braves and Philly, it's always a rivalry game, always. But I think the Mets also, because they always, we always had the talk that they're going to beat us, and they always put them in front of us. So every time you play, you kind of want to play. Well, kind of not. You are playing as hard as you can because you want to beat those teams. You want to beat your rivalry teams because that's going to be the hot talk for the whole season going forward. So if you see the series against the Mets or Philly, it's always a great game, and I love it.
I want to ask about your BFF, Acuna. How much does he push you? He's younger than you, but when you watch your teammates succeed, it's like a added energy. You see him doing it, I want to do it. because you have the same athleticism. Yes. How does he push everybody with his energy? And again, you have the same energy, but how is he just pushing everybody to be better and hungrier?
Yeah, he's a guy that's hungry for the game. And I'll say this, he's a guy that his confidence is high at all times. It doesn't matter, he went 0 for 4, 0 for 5 today. As soon as the game is over, win or lose, he's going to tell you, hey, tomorrow I'm getting 3 knocks. I got 0 for 5 today, they ate today, tomorrow's my day to eat. And that's the confidence you kind of need. You need those confidence for tomorrow, your mindset. If your mind is where it needs to be, you're going to prepare yourself for great ABs and great game tomorrow. If I go home and I cry about what happened in the past, you already know what's going to happen.
True.
All right.
It's all to the mind.
I have a theory, and it coincides with your at-bats. Acuna ain't Acuna without Ozzie. And I'm not talking about the BFF stuff. I'm saying when I look at your lineup, yes, I understand who does what damage, who got the MVP votes. But to me, you're the key to that. These guys don't have quite the seasons they have as a whole without you in there. What kind of impact do you make as just being in that lineup? Like, you're going to give the whole, like, I'm so happy to be here. It's so much fun, all this stuff. You are more valuable than I think people put a value on you. I think you're the most underrated player in the game, in my opinion.
Talking about that, I heard it a lot. And, I like to bring the positive and great high energy to the team. End of the day, I want to go there, play as hard as I can, and obviously help the whole team be together to win. We win when we together. We don't win when we separate. So as you see, 2021, when we won the World Series, we had some injuries here and there, and then a couple guys got traded to the team. We all got together in the second half. We went from, they're not going to win the division to win the whole World Series. And that's the key that I want to bring to the team. I want everybody to be happy with each other. Everybody can have some fun moments, talk crap to each other, and still be a team without getting mad at each other. That's what we did. And I think from 18 up, we've been doing the same thing, and yes, bring us really far in this organization. And just speaking about me, myself, I like to, get the team together, have a little fun, but when it's the game time, we all going out there, play as hard as we can. And not even one out is made without everybody being in the play together. And that's what makes this team special.
And you keep those boys together. You're the if the Braves are a cocktail, you're the straw. You stir it. You make it happen.
Yeah, I'll try to do the best.
and that brings me to my next question. How open are you to an extension? Everybody around you has gotten extensions. You've gotten an extension. Guys in the game have gotten extensions. To me, if the Braves don't lock you up, they are missing out on a huge value. But to me, you need to one-up the guys that are all in there. And that's not a selfish thing. If you agree with me, that's just my opinion. What are extension talks going for you, and how open are you to an extension if they haven't started?
I mean, I'm always out there to listen to what they want to do. And, I'm here just focusing on playing baseball right now. But, of course, when those conversation comes, we will talk about them for sure. I mean, it's always something you're going to be open to. You always listen and see options and listen to options out there, and hopefully it goes good.
So you got a couple pickup new guys that came in, whether free agency or trade. I want to talk about a couple guys: Ronaldo Lopez, Chris Sale, to name 2 of them. Talk to us about those guys. How are they acclimating over there, and how you see these guys helping out the squad this year?
Oh, they already having a lot of fun with the team. Jerry Kellenack, he's already, talking crap and going back and forth, having fun at the clubhouse. And that's what we need. We need that when you spend, I'll say, more than 200 days of the season with the same boys, same guys every day. You're spending more time with your teammates than you spend with your own family. So you need the fun in the guys. Like Lopez is amazing. Chris Sale is amazing. We sit down and talk in the clubhouse after practice. It's just a great group of guys that's going to be really special this year for having, for us to have a great season again. And we're going to do our best to go all the way to World Series again.
Hey, don't play Chris Sale in ping pong. He's one of the best ping pong players. So keep your money safe there. If he has to play ping pong, say no.
We actually have a ping pong table here, so should I go challenge him or no?
Yeah.
No. Save your money.
Yeah, why not?
Save your money.
Yeah.
Do it.
Freebie game.
No, Chris Sale's
He's ridiculous. Hey, Ozzie, on your
JJ
way
Hardy.
out. Yeah. Ozzie, on your way out, I hear Culberson's coming up next. Do you have the scouting report on the new ace for the Braves?
Yeah, I mean Culberson, like I said, he's one of the greatest guys I met in my life. He's awesome, and he will do anything it takes to be in the big leagues. As we know now, he's trying to do pitching, and he can get it up there. He told me the other day it was like 94, 96. I'm like, whoa. Like he has a great arm, and he showed it. And even when he came in as a position player pitching, he threw 94, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, he's a talented guy that can hit. He can field. He has a great arm, and he can pitch now. So I think he was even catching the guys between innings when the catcher wasn't ready. So he has a lot of talent. Yeah,
He can do a lot for you.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Like Michael Lorenzen all over again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True. Otani. Ozzie, great to have you on, dude. We appreciate you, man. Good. I know, Adam. I'm kidding. Have fun in spring training, dude. We're excited for the season.
All right, brothers.
All right. See you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.
Cheers. Thank you, Ozzie. That was fun. Good stuff there. Ozzie Albies joining us on FT. Todd Father, you want to say bye to the people, and we'll see you probably next week at some point.
Yes, you'll see me next week. Again, 1 year anniversary. Thank you for everybody. Cutting it short today.
Yeah.
Have a prior engagement. But yes, thank you. Keep putting smiles on your faces and have a great week.
There you go. Okay. Top Father out. You got Jonesy, me, and Kratz, and Charlie Culberson coming up next as we'll continue our interviews from Braves camp. So while we get Todd Father out of here, Kratz, can we get your take on the Atlanta Braves this coming season? Where do you think they stack up with teams like the Phillies? And obviously we've talked a lot about the Dodgers, and even if you think there's anyone in the NL Central that can put up with them. I mean, the Diamondbacks too. I should not leave them out. What do you think?
I'm easily persuaded when it comes to like trying to figure out who's going to win divisions. As we saw last year, it's not just the top 6 favorite teams that are going to make it to the playoffs. It's not just the top, this is who should win. We were at Phillies camp the other day. I read articles about the Phillies. I'm like, whoa, these boys, they're hungry. Now I start reading articles about the Braves. I'm like, hey, these guys are hungry too. And what they did, and you look at their lineup, you're like, oh man, I fanboy over a guy like Ozzie Albies. I just am always intrigued, especially when we play the Braves and when him and Acuna first came up, when I was still in the game. It was like, I get what you're saying, that Acuna can hurt you, but Ozzie just brought a different dynamic to this lineup. And I think if he stays healthy, this team wins the division again. I think if he deals with another freak injury, hit by pitch, a tweak on a sliding into second base. I think he broke his finger one day after he came back from the IL the other year. To me, that kind of stuff, that is more detrimental to this team. The guys will still have their MVP type of stuff, but just that energy that you see from him, to me, is what makes this team a 100-win team. And without him, I think the Phillies may take him in the division this year.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good call. I think Ozzie's going to have a monster year. All right, let's send it back out to Braves camp. Jonesy, you want to make the intro?
Yeah, I'm here with Mr. Culberson, the pitcher. Are you going to use pitcher / infielder on your title?
I want to, but they just focus.
Just pitch. Hey, you could be
on pitching.
You could be the unicorn. I want to ask, what in the hell made you want to pitch?
Well, when I wasn't playing anymore, it was a decision I had to make. It was like, hey, either hang it up or keep trying, or might as well try pitching.
And how's it been going, though? Because, I just heard Elvis saying you were up 94, 96. You got some scap work you got to do now. You got to do the different arm rotations. It's different being a pitcher than a position player.
Yeah, I've never really had to do arm care before. Now that I'm stationary on a mound, I focus more on it. But yeah, I feel good. It's a fun new challenge. Something I always said I wanted to try. If position player stuff was kind of coming to an end, and here I am.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what you're in for. Like, you got to get ridiculed by the position players who are more athletic than you. Will they still ridicule you? And you got to shag BP. Are you serious, bro? Like, you can't be out there shagging BP.
Hey, it's part of it. I've taken my fair share of ground balls and fly balls and ground balls around the diamond, and then it is what it is. Pitcher's life's a little different. You don't do as much. You just really just take care of your body and be ready to throw, be available.
Are you now the best defensive pitcher in baseball?
Max Fried might say differently.
Okay, Stroman. Like there's a couple guys, but I mean, hey.
Let me get back to the big leagues, and then we'll reevaluate. I've got to kind of prove myself on the mound first before I can say anything like that.
Very true.
Yeah.
What's your go-to going to be? Are you going to be like a one spot in the outfield kind of guy? Like, are you going to find shade, or are you going to be the power shagging pitcher?
I think from my playing days, I can't just stand there. I've got to show the young guys that you got to actually put in a little bit of work. I'm not sure if I'll be power shagging, but I'm not going to be finding the shade, that's for sure.
Will you ever go take ground balls again?
I want to. I brought all my gloves. I brought bats, even though I know I probably wasn't going to hit anymore. I kind of felt naked without my stuff, but you want to stay athletic. You want to stay ready, and that little part kind of allowed me to mentally stay ready.
Awesome.
Yep.
Hey, Charlie, what's your scouting report? Like, give me the fastball velo, the pitches that you're working on, the works.
I don't want to give all the hitters too much info. I want to
fair. The basics, like what the fan would see in a spring training game.
Yeah. Four seam fastball, throw a cutter. Sliders turning more into like curveball ish, just working on grips and thoughts, and then a changeup, more of a split changeup. But it's been fun. It's been like I was telling Adam, just a new challenge that I've been able to kind of tap into later in my career, and it's kind of made baseball fun again for me to get the juices going on the mound and just competing out there. So I've really enjoyed it. But yeah, right now, obviously I'm going to come up as a reliever and 4-pitch mix and kind of just whatever is working that day. I kind of have an idea now that you go with what's working. So yeah, it's been fun.
That's super cool. I love that. And Charlie, we'll get back to you in like 15 seconds. We're just resetting his link because it sounded like a little bit static. Adam's getting too excited out there, probably screaming to all the players. Just kidding. But Kratz, I mean, you've done this before. Your thoughts?
This is I was going to wait till Charlie was on, but there's so many. Charlie, can you hear me as I make this comment?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, we're trying to reset your audio. Your audio is a little staticky, so we're trying to work through that, but you can hear my comment. We have so much similarities. Besides the fact that I'm ugly and you are incredibly handsome and you have great hair and I'm bald, we both have a negative .1 WAR and we both have 7 innings in the big leagues. But the difference here is I got 3 punchies and you only have 1 punchy. So until you make it back to the big leagues, I am ahead of you on the career punch out list. So my question to you after I make all those comments about me is, are you starting in AAA? Are you starting in high A? Do you feel like there's an advantage to starting at a certain level for you, even though you're an older guy, but you're like essentially just starting over pitching?
Yeah, touche on the strikeouts. I do have 7 in the third and 1 earned run. So
I have 7 and 5 earned runs.
Okay. Strikeouts are cool. I get it. You want swing and miss, get strikeouts. No, honestly, they just told me to come in and compete. Nothing's guaranteed, which I'm obviously okay with that. Mentality-wise, I know that I can do it. I know there's a lot of arms, not just here, everywhere around the league. So I understand that. But my goal is to get back to the big leagues, whenever that may be. I'm not sure. But I hope to at least start in AAA this year. they have a plan. They have so many guys, like I said, but I'm not really sure what my path will be out of spring training. I'll be 35 in April. I do have a fresh arm, so that's a good thing, but I haven't really thought too much past not going to at least Gwinnett.
Yes, need that.
So with being married, I got 3 children. They're getting older. I live in Atlanta. I think a lot of people know that if they're Braves fans, and they kind of understand that with the situation I'm in. But I'm just trying to focus on enjoying the transition and enjoying the new challenge, and then just kind of leave it up to the Braves and the front office to kind of figure the rest out for me.
Nice. I love that. Yay. You know how front offices work? They'll evaluate pitching talent and they'll be like, hey, this guy's got too much mileage on the arm, the whole deal. You're the freshest pitching prospect of all time, pretty much, right? Like you can go to
with experience.
I got 10 years in this arm with experience, right? It's a big league experience, right? You're not going to be phased, but you got 10 years left in that arm. If it's cranking like that, why not, right?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Again, I worked a lot this offseason on pitching, getting my arm strength healthy, working on grips, working on pitches, just kind of building up. And it's funny, I'm not just doing this just because or like it's a cool story. Like in my mind, I really feel that I can be a successful big league reliever. And if I fall short, I fall short, but it's not because I didn't try, and it's not because I didn't have the drive, because I got a lot of people looking up to me, and I got a family. I got kids that want to see dad go out there and succeed and do something cool and do something that's, out of the ordinary and out of his comfort zone, and show them that sometimes things aren't going to be easy all the time. And again, it's something that kind of lightened the fire again. Last year was a different year. I didn't get a chance to play a whole lot, and I kind of read the writing on the wall, but I'm here to back as a pitcher and enjoying it and, able to compete again. And I'm just going to take advantage of it.
It's like Drake said, you're a rookie and a vet. But
that's right. That's right.
But my question is, since you're two in the same person, and we'll never know who wins in the battle against Charlie Culberson versus Charlie Culberson, the pitcher versus the hitter.
Good question. If it's in the 9th inning and I'm pinch hitting, I win.
Ooh-wee!
If any other time, I think the pitcher wins. You can't be the nice guy all the time, and I know as a pitcher you have to flip that switch a little bit on the field. I was always like, I'm never going to change as a person of being friendly and this and that, but I know once you get in between the lines, mentality changes a little bit. 100%. But as a pitcher, you got no friends out there. Only the friends that are behind you, those are your friends. Anybody in the batter's box, it doesn't matter who it is. It's like, here's my best stuff. And I've actually felt that being able to compete on the mound, it doesn't matter who's hitting. It's you versus them. So that's what's really cool about the pitching side of things and the mentality. So pitcher Charlie is probably going to win, because that's the state I'm in right now. I'm a pitcher now, and I'm focusing on that. So pitcher Charlie wins.
Yeah, that's your new ID. I love that. Yeah. Well, Charlie, not just Braves fans, but baseball fans are rooting for you in this story. This is super cool. We love this. It's such an awesome baseball story, and it's not just a story. The talent's there. So good luck. We'll be watching. We'll be following. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate the support. It's been a blast, and I want to just show people that you can change, you can adjust, and you can do something that's different. So again, I appreciate everything.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Cheers, Charlie. Good
That's
to
right.
see you,
Yeah,
man.
up and in, high and tight.
Just run something up and in on somebody.
Not at the face.
No,
somewhere in here.
Yeah,
that's right.
They got families.
They got families. Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff. Charlie Culberson and Adam Jones with us out of Braves camp. Back here, Braun with Kratz for a moment, and then we'll get back to Jonesy. So let's get into some win totals, shall we? Kratz, you ready for today's 3 teams?
Oh, baby, you know I am.
BetMGM futures. The 3 teams we're going with today are the Seattle Mariners at 86.5 dubs, the San Diego Padres at 81.5 wins, and the Miami Marlins at 78.5 wins. Would you like to? Let's go back and forth here because just you and me for this part. So let's start with Seattle, 86.5. What do you got?
Hang on, I'm getting my calculator out to see where 54% lands. I am taking the no comment on the Seattle. I'm taking the over. I think they are an 88 win team. I think they have potential to be a 92 win team. And that will not depend on free agents. As much as on this show we try to blame Seattle for not spending, I think you have an extra year of experience from Cal Raleigh. You have an extra year of experience from Julio Rodriguez. And J.P. Crawford came into his own last year. You are solid up the middle, and you have an absolutely gas rotation. Maybe one of the best in the game. Definitely top 5. Arguably, they could be up there in the top 3 in the game. I think they got a little bit, how long Brash is down for. Matt Brash just came down with something. I'm not exactly sure what he had, but they have a bullpen that they're a team that creates great arms in the bullpen. They got rid of Topa. They added Jorge Polanco. I think this team has the ability to, in my opinion, go over 86. I like 86 as the number. If you gave it to me at 85, I would say this is a lock.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go over. I think they got better. Did they get massively better? No. That was what we were upset about with this team, but you're right. Yeah, we were hoping for that because it was so easy to plug certain holes that needed to be filled, and they did some of them and did the best that they could with what they were given. It's just difficult in this game to improve a team when certain prices on players that are rising get higher and you're not able to kind of keep up, right? I mean, if you're in your winning window, you do have to raise your payroll a little bit, and they just decided not to do that. I will go over, though. I'll put them in that high 80s range as well. I mean, Rangers and Astros are going to be tough for them. Rangers, for me, in the first half might be interesting if they don't sign Jordan Montgomery, just based on what the starting staff looks like. So you could see the M's sneaking some wins in there and making this thing competitive, and maybe even having a first or second place look at the division when we get to halfway through the season. If the Rangers end up getting like DeGrom and Scherzer and guys like that back and they're actually ready to go, I mean, they're going to be a problem. But the A's are terrible, and the Angels are pretty much terrible. And then you've got 3 really good teams. The one other thing I want to throw in there, just because there was a fan that threw this in to a comment I was looking at. They were like, you shouldn't have asked, Cal Raleigh about 54% or something. And I'm like, why? Like that's the fun part of our show. You get to ask about that. Not to mention, I actually have gone on. Of course, we should ask about that. And he also brought up how the team needed to be better. Not to mention how I've actually given some credit to Dipoto. I thought with what he was given this offseason, that was actually a good guy for the job, because the dude knows how to swing a trade as well as any freaking GM in the bigs. So when your owner says, hey, we're keeping everything the same, but we need you to make the team better, I think there are some GMs that would have a lot of trouble doing that, and they would probably pretty much stand pat. He was like, all right, tinkering, that's my middle name. So good for him. I think it's a better offense. Jorge Polanco in there. That's a significant upgrade if he's healthy for the second base position. Garber, if they use him in the right spots, maybe you get a bounce back season from someone like Mitch Haniger. So good for them. There's still weak parts to it, but I'll go with the over there. We'll bring Jonesy into the mix here for the next 2 teams. San Diego Padres, 81.5 dubs. Jonesy, Mr. San Diego, you go first. That's a tough one. Are they 500? Are they a little over, a little under?
Oof. I mean, I think that's a tough one just because of, again, the Giants they still have room to grow. They've admitted that. The Diamondbacks did a tremendous job, I believe. I think they won. Besides the Dodgers obviously getting 2 of the top guys, I think the Diamondbacks had one of the best off seasons in baseball. And again, they're building on they had 84 wins, I believe, last year. I think they're building on that and want to get closer to that 90 and not be in the wild card. But 82 win, 81.5, that's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough year just in general because everybody's gotten so much better. But if I believe in my guy Machado, if I believe in my Padres, hopefully they are right in the mix of it. I would take. That's a tough one. That's just a tough one if I'm betting. My heart tells me they're going to win the World Series or be in the World Series. Them and Orioles. That's what my heart tells me. Okay, again, I'm a fan. I'm a crazy fan. I'm a fanatic too. But it's going to be a tough year. It's going to be a long year in the West, just because 3 of the teams got improved so much. I don't know if they improved as much because they had to shed some payroll because they were with the owner passing. They admitted they had to shed a little bit of payroll, and doing that again, DePoto did a great job with shedding payroll and improving. It's not that easy down in San Diego to do that, but I see them being competitive. The 81.5, I'm gonna keep my money in my pocket.
No, you gotta have an answer.
Up or down?
Up.
Over or under?
Up. I'm going up. I'm a positive
Over.
guy. I don't want Manny to text me and say, "Yeah, oh, okay, I ain't coming on your podcast anymore."
Haven't seen him on
Kratz, what
FT,
do you
so
got?
you can text him.
We got to get him on here. We got to get him on here.
Yeah.
He would love that. I've known Manny for years.
time.
He's actually high up on the list. We got to get a little Manny love. It's a good year to do it.
Come
We'll
on,
get him.
man.
Yeah. We got him. Kratz?
I'm going under. Somebody's got to be under in the division, and I don't think the Rockies are going to have all the losses. And I think this infield is going to absolutely smash. Kim is going to smash. My boy Crone Zone is going to smash. He didn't have a good year last year. He's going to do awesome. Xander's going to do what he does. He's going to be right at 300. I think he's got 25 in him this year. Manny's going to do what he does. This infield is going to smash. Who the heck is going to play the outfield? Who the heck is going to be their 5 starting pitchers after Yu Darvish and Musgrove? And who is going to step up? Is Suarez going to step up and take over for what Hader did? I think there's some losses here. I don't think it's going to be that far from 81.5, but I'm going to take the under.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me. I'm going to take the under because I think they're close with the Giants. I think the Giants are in the 500 range, but I also still have hope that the Giants are going to add a player or two. The Padres are not adding one of the big free agents left. So I think that's a separator for me. They lost a lot of pitching talent. They did. Blake Snell won the Cy Young Award last year. Josh Hader was either the best or a top 3, whatever you want to call it, closer last year. I like some of the signings they've made. I think the pitching ads they made will make them competitive, but I do see them missing the playoffs again this season. And then, yes?
No, I just want to make sure, though, if I come out to San Diego, I can still stay at Jonesy's house. I hope he's not mad at me.
Yeah,
the house
never,
is built in
81.
San Diego.
Never, brother.
No.
Never.
You're dead to me.
Have fresh guacamole for you with some pomegranates in it.
Okay.
Some banana chips.
I like,
you know what I mean?
I like guacamole.
I like that. All right, let's finish with the Marlins. What do we think about the Marlins at 78.5 wins in the NL East that features the Braves, the Phillies? I don't know how we feel about the Mets right now. Obviously, the rebuilding Nationals. Miami did one thing this offseason, right? And there's no Alcantara for most of this year. They signed Tim Anderson, and that is an upgrade at shortstop. And I'm actually high on him bouncing back. And John Birdie is a nice player, but he should be a utility guy off the bench. So Tim comes in. But besides that, Adam, they lost some pitching from last year, and they did almost nothing.
I mean, Alcantara obviously is the staple of their pitching rotation, and he's going to be out all year with TJ. Obviously, Luzardo's nasty. Do you trust the other guys? They're still a young team. I love Tim Anderson. I'm glad he's going to get another opportunity. He's a tremendous player, and I'm glad he's going to go and get those reps. I think I got him under. I think the Braves are going to be hungry. I don't think the Braves are going to allow any wins to slip under them this year. The Phillies, obviously, they're going to be competitive as they always are. The Mets, I think the Mets, I don't really trust them. I think some people can go beat up on the Mets and the Nationals. But I just think that this division is going to be ran by the Braves and Phillies, and I think they both aren't taking any prisoners this year. I don't think that they're going to be like, oh, the Marlins are in town, let's just have them. No, the Marlins came to Philly and Atlanta a few times and put a whooping on them. I think that they have a bullseye on them. Similar with the Orioles. The Orioles came to town last year and just started punching people in the mouth. people's like, hey, what's up with this? And I think those kind of teams, the ones that made the playoffs last year, they're going to have bullseyes on them because guys didn't expect that. They didn't expect the Marlins to come to town and just start banging on them. And then, Solaire's gone, so you got some offense gone. So I think it's going to be a grind for them. I just hope that a lot of players get the opportunity to play. But I just think it's going to be a real grind for them this year.
I think Skip keeps this team at a 500 clip. I think he keeps this team. He will figure out how to get the most out of what the organization gives him, which unfortunately they subtracted 30-plus dingers from Jorge Soler. They subtracted through injury Alcantara. They subtracted innings from Yuri Perez last year, and Skip still was able to get this team to the playoffs. So Skip is my X factor here, but ownership is the Y factor. Why would you not make any moves in the offseason? Why would you make me think you are not going to make any moves at the All-Star break, pushing you below 500? Because he's going to keep him around 500. If they can give him the Jake Berger like they did last year, the Josh Bell, you pick those guys up, that helps you. Ownership's proven this offseason they ain't picking anybody up. So I'm taking the under.
I'm taking the under. I think it's going to be a rough year. I mean, this is a team that snuck into the playoffs, have put together a nice group of pitching. They've got pitching injuries. And again, when it's your winning window, you have to strike. I mean, Adam, actually, you're seeing it right now. Orioles picked up Corbin Burns. I know there's the Bradish injury. We'll see what happens there. But when it's your time, you got to go. I mean,
you got to strike.
Waiting forever. You got to strike. You got to do something. It's okay. I'm okay with chilling. I don't criticize the Nationals for the past few years. They're going through their rebuild. They won a freaking World Series. They did what they were supposed to do. They added, won. Okay? Right now they're rebuilding. Cool. Fine. I like some of the prospects going on there. But in that division, if you're Miami and you're waiting for this moment and it's come the past couple years, like there is enough pitching to really win some playoff series, and we see what some of these teams have done in the playoffs. If you even sneak in as a wild card team, there's no reason that the Marlins couldn't have been the Arizona Diamondbacks. And the reason is they just haven't spread the talent out on the position player side. That's fine. That's actually an easier place to go pick on free agency and even trades. It's easier to find that than the pitching that they put together, and they just didn't do it. So for me, yeah, it's a very fringy 500 wildcard team, but I can see some things going poorly, maybe another pitching injury or the offense looking like it usually does. So, yeah, I'm looking at more like a 75-win team in my mind. I agree with Kratzy on Skip. Skip's a G. He's a stud, but you need the players out there too. You need the players. So we'll see what happens. First off, let me throw this out there for the new BetMGM users. Place your first BetMGM sportsbook wager through the app of at least $5. You will receive $150 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Again, that's when you place a bet, you receive $150 in bonus bets, regardless of the outcome of your wager for new accounts on the BetMGM sportsbook app or at BetMGM.com. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. I want to get to the Rockies for a second, too. This ties into Chris Bryant. We don't talk about the Rockies a ton, but before we get to KB, we have some stats out there from BetMGM that says that the Rockies have received more bets to make or miss the playoffs than any other team right now, and that the Rockies are also the most bet team to make the playoffs. 99% of all postseason bets placed on Colorado are on them to make the playoffs. They're at plus 2,500 to make the playoffs. Okay, I had to do a bonus segment here because we're looking at this today, our whole production staff too, behind the scenes, and everyone's like, am I missing something? Did the Rockies just suddenly turn into a playoff team overnight, or is everybody about to be pretty pissed off when their plus 2,500 turns into nothing?
You remember in RoboCop when the guy was like, I'll buy that for $1? That's what I'd do. I'd buy that for $1.
So a lot of people are placing $1 on the Rockies to make the playoffs.
One to win 2,500. I mean, that is a. I mean,
No,
you're gonna spend $1 on sugar. 100. I'm sorry.
No,
100.
It's 100 to win 2,500. But I mean, are we joking? There is no chance they're making the playoffs this year. I'm sorry. If every single thing goes their way, if every prospect emerges, if everyone turns into a superstar overnight, they're still not making the playoffs. I'm sorry. This is the 5th worst team in the NL West. Do you want to try and convince me that they climb a spot or 2 in the division? Sure. But Kratz, even the chance of them finishing in 3rd place in the NL West and being a wild card contender is just about 0 for me.
See, you even said they're the 5th worst. So technically, if you go by the wording there, they're the 1st worst. They are 1st place in the worst in that division. It
5th best, I
perplexed
should
me.
say. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
I don't understand. I don't understand where they're coming from with this. What has made this team even improve itself? Don't even look at the division. The division hasn't got is Chris Bryant going to hit 40 and 120? Like
even if he does, they're still not a playoff
That's what I'm
team.
saying. Even if him and Nolan are both ridiculous, like what has this team? How has this team improved? And what am I missing? That's what I want to know. Like where am I missing? Like did somebody go out and buy like $1,001 tickets and that's how it pushed them over? Like 99%. That's crazy. Like I need to look more into it. Maybe I'm missing something.
People in the chat, tell me what I'm missing. I mean, Jacob goes, the Rockies are beating the Dodgers in the NLTS. No fucking way.
We don't even need that. We just need them to make the playoffs.
He's kidding.
2,500 to make the playoffs.
I know. You got one Dragon going, name 3 Rockies. I mean, I can, but oof, it's rough. Adam's like, I might struggle. Hey, they made some veteran pickups. Yeah,
Jones. Jones is a stud, by the way.
He is a stud.
He's a stud.
Good job, Guardian.
He's a stud. And I say McCann? No. McMahon? No. I say his name correctly?
Yeah. No, you said
third baseman? McMahon? There you go. Him.
Yeah.
He's a stud. He got a big contract. He can pull the ball. But besides that,
MVP of the All-Star game?
Oh, the catcher. Sorry. Due disrespect. He hit that nasty split. But besides that, I don't know a lot of guys in the Rockies, but then that's the beautiful part about this is they're all going to have an opportunity to go make a name for themselves. You're going to get to face Machado, Shohei, the big teams in the West. Go make a name for yourself. That's what Major League Baseball is about. Go make a name for yourself. We're all hating on you guys, saying you ain't going to make the playoffs. Go prove us wrong. That's the best part about it. Go prove us wrong and slap us in the face when you guys are in October. Don't hit me. That's violence.
I'm being real. I don't think they think that they're going to make the playoffs. Just not this year. It's not there, right? Like, let's be real. There's certain teams I'm sure you guys have been on where you walk into the clubhouse and you're like, yo, I'm going to work on me. I'm going to be a great teammate, but this team's not going anywhere.
See, I was ignorant in that fact. I was ignorant in the fact that like I felt like every team I was on should win every single game, and maybe that's a poor self-evaluation. I'll take whatever criticism you have on that. I don't think the players think that. I don't think the players think they're gonna get 5th place in the division. The players think we're gonna show some people. Bud Black thinks we're gonna show some people. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna come out and play every single game, and those words can get thrown around and get wishy-washy. To me, I think the ownership thinks, wait, no, I'm not even going to say they think. They've said it. I think we're a 500 club. Who builds a 500 club? Who's like, you know what? I think we're a 500 club. So unless you have the support of the ownership and front office, which never changes in Colorado, nothing will ever change.
Well, let's get to the Chris Bryant part of the equation here, okay? So he had some recent comments and, he's gone through his struggles since joining up with the Rocks. So there's a good story out there with Stephen Nesbitt leading the way for The Athletic. And he says, it's Sam Blum, who says that he wishes that things went differently with the Cubs and why he went to the Rockies and what he believes he still has to offer. So I'll give you some quotes here. He said, it's like, oh, shoot, I need to get there. There were other teams interested, but I didn't want to wait around. It was a completely different situation for a lot of free agents at the time. I guess I didn't do as much research into the prospects as I could. And he talked about, I guess, on this front, the winning side of things with the Rockies, or the losing side of things right now. He said, as a player, it's an easier spot to be in because you don't really have that outside pressure like the Dodgers are going to have. They invest a lot of money in good players, so they have to go out there and win. For us, we can be someone that nobody talks about. So that's the chip you're talking about right now, Jonesy. But it's a tough spot for him. He also accomplished everything. I do feel like a lot of boxes were checked, and then this is the get paid portion of that. But I think he's being real. He knows, like, you can kind of cruise out there. It's kind of the mentality right now. It's been like that for about 5 years now in Colorado, where the fan experience is elite. I just said that in the chat. I'm like, been to quite a few Rockies games over the past few years. Even when they're bad, I still come out of there and I'm like, that was really fun. They just do a good job out there of running the business in terms of an entertainment experience. It's just that you often leave the ballpark and say, that was great. I had good food, good vibes, an amazing view. I saw some really good players, but most of them were on the other team.
I'm glad he admitted that. When he signed there, I think the baseball world was like, he went and got his biggest bag. That's $177 million. He went and got his biggest bag. But like you said, he checked off everything. Rookie of the year, got an MVP and a World Series. Go get the most money. So when he went there, I didn't fault him. And he said, no one's going to talk about Kris Bryant anymore. If he's in Colorado, we're not going to talk about it. Even when he's hurt, he can go 4 for 4 or anything. We're not going to mention him as much because he's not drawing those attention like the Cubs did. But he did exactly what he wanted to do. He went and got the biggest bag because he checked off every single box. And that's a rarity in this game to have Rookie of the Year, MVP, and a World Series ring. So I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him at all. And, he's right. He goes to Denver. We don't say anything about him anymore. And again, he was a top 5 player in baseball. But, he got the money and he dipping off to the side, which I don't blame him at all.
To me, it's an org thing. Played with a lot of guys who have come over to other organizations that are hell-bent on winning. And they're like, holy cow, I can't get over the difference here, the information I get. Because we talk a lot about, it's too much analytic, all this stuff. That information is there for players who really want to take it to the next level. Some guys can't use it. Todd always talks about it. I don't really like all that analytical stuff. I just want to go out and play. They're not going to get in your way. Go out and play. But if you don't offer it to the players, the Rockies weren't offering that stuff to players. So whatever went into Bryant's decision, whatever went into Chris's decision to sign in Colorado will be between him and his family. And it might have been to get the bag. But the extra effort to see exactly what's going on there, to see how that front office is just a cyclical, they just cycle through the same people, different job. Everyone just kind of keeps moving up. It's like it's like brotherly love in there. It's like, oh yeah, come on, buddy. We're going to move up. Don't worry about it. Nobody gets fired here in the last 8 years. Don't worry about it. We're behind the times in this. When you have all-stars leaving your team saying that there is zero information given to hitters and pitchers, you are behind the times. And if they really want to win, that's the kind of stuff that Colorado has to do. And they have a guy that's done it and won in Kris Bryant if the org comes around in the next 5 years while he's still a Rocky.
But hey, to that, I don't buy the part of saying, I didn't look at the prospects and stuff like that. When you're playing against a team, you're playing, you know who is coming up. Like you're a baseball player, this dude he just got called, he's a rookie. I'm a free agent. He's probably going to be here. These guys are probably going to be here. You know that going into it. You can watch, that's just common sense, unless he just plays baseball with blinders on like a horse. If he does that, then I get it. But everybody, when I was playing against any team, I looked at the opponents. I looked up the lineup. I would look in the program and be like, who are these guys? The information is out there. Like you said, we get emails every day about what's going on with the game, and you see the prospects list. Now, in today's climate with information, you know who all the prospects are. It's not hidden anymore. The guy doesn't just get called up and he's like, that's a brand new guy. Nah, we've been watching and tracking. There's information. There's videos on guys. So just that's the part I don't get. It's like, I didn't look at the prospects. I didn't know that. You went to Colorado and hit 5-6 home runs a series with the Cubs. You knew who you were going to play defense behind. Okay, that's scouting doing it yourself.
Yeah, and my thing that I know some inside info on Colorado is that when you are trying to develop talent, especially young talent, it requires tech nowadays, and that tech costs money. It requires certain coaches, and some of those coaches get paid higher than others, right? So we spoke to Derek Johnson, who does a great job developing pitching with Cincinnati, and that's a very tough ballpark for young pitchers to come up and thrive in. We, of course, gush about teams like the Dodgers, the Braves, the Yankees, the Mets, and many others, and some of the tech that they invest in and the Rays, and that's why certain pitchers will go over there and thrive, okay? The Rockies don't believe in that. I don't know if that's changed in the past year or so, but I doubt it. I just know that there have been a lot of presentations there to the big man about some things that they need to do differently and some get with the times act. Because there's only like maybe 1 to 3 teams left that are super behind like that, but they're one of them. He's not into it. That's what happens. To me, that's the spot where you can thrive because it costs way less than getting some of the big boys in free agency, but still you present a plan. You say, hey, our minor leaguers need to eat better. We need to have a pitching lab, stuff like that. If it gets rejected, it gets rejected. That's what's happening. That's for sure. So I know there have been presentations saying, hey, 28 teams are doing this. And the answer is that's 500 G's this year. Nah, I'm out. I think we're good. So that's a part of it too. Anyway, let's slap hands. Did you have fun out there?
You got to drop and come under, bro. You got to see it and then drop and then come under this new stuff.
Frame it.
Yeah, you can't just hold it there anymore. You got to drop, look around, then come back and catch it from the ground up.
Jones, are you serious, bro? I'm not talking about anything about center field with you, okay? And framing? Framing? That's lying to umpires. I'm an honest person. I would never try to frame a strike, okay?
We're talking about framing. We're talking about framing. Anyway, cheers to the Braves. Awesome. Thank you to the PR, the whole deal there, the players that joined us, and the manager and Brian Snitker, who's great, but Ozzie Albies and Charlie Culberson and the whole group. Who else? Who am I missing? The one that we got. Or no, it was those 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah, Albies and Snit.
Oh, Harris.
Snit,
duh.
Albies, Harris. Yeah, Harris.
And Michael Harris, Money Mike, out in center. So that was awesome. Yeah. Next week, we are going to Nationals camp on Monday. Tuesday, mystery team. Yes, Boris, don't call me. This isn't a free agent situation, but mystery team for Tuesday's spring training. It could be in play, and it could be a very notable team. And then on Thursday, we will be at Cardinals camp. So stay tuned. We have many more camps to hit on the tour. Jonesy, you're the man. Thanks for coming through. Enjoy the rest of your bat talks in the mornings with the guys, all right?
I appreciate it, man. Hey, it's been fun. The whirlwinds, a lot of driving, a lot of miles on the rental car, but hey, it ain't mine. So
hell yeah.
Drive it like a rental. Drive it like a rental.
In Florida? Oh, what?
That's survival. If you get a rental in Florida and there's no sand in it when you give it back, you get charged. You need to put some sand in that rental.
Yeah. Sir, I'm sorry. This looks better than when we gave it to you. So I'm going to have to charge you a little bit of money, or at least tell you to go out there and have some fun.
Vacuum it out.
Oh, lastly, you're going to coach, right? Is that next week?
Yeah. Yeah, it starts tomorrow. I'll be starting coaching with the Orioles as a guest coach, and I'm nervous as hell, excited as hell. I've reached out to different people, different coaches. I talked to Snick earlier about it off camera. I'm excited, you know what I mean? Go on the other side and put on a uniform again, but to be a resource. You know, I got no ego when it comes to this game anymore. I had my career. I just want to help out where I can and be a big brother to the guys. If they want to know something, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it for them, but just to be an extra resource. I don't want to step on nobody's toes. I just want to be a value to the organization. So I hope I can do that.
What's your
Love
stick
that.
gonna be? What's your stick gonna be? You're gonna have a fungo. You're gonna be carrying a glove around. You're gonna lean on the batting cage. What are you gonna do?
I got a fungo in my glove that I brought, and I ain't gonna use none of them, but I'm just gonna walk around with them. I'm just gonna walk around, act like I know what I'm doing, and again, just try and my shtick is play the game hard. You know how I played the game. I ran through the walls for my pitchers. I didn't care who was on the mound. I'm gonna do what I can. And again, what the Orioles are doing right now is exactly that. So again, I just want to add to. I don't want to prevent. I don't want to take away. I just want to add to if I can, and hopefully I can.
Don't be afraid to get some flips in the cage one time for the boys. I know my boy Cody Ashe. My boy Cody Ashe needs a little. He needs a little break. Assistant coach, hitting coach. He doesn't need to be flipping all day. Get him out of there. Get him out. Let him get on the field. You don't need to be out there all the time. Look at me, Jonesy. Look at me.
I'm gonna have the glasses on. I'm gonna be just gonna be a party. I want to be unseen. I don't want nobody bother me. I want to help the players as much as I can. Sign autographs if need be. I got time. I don't have to go hit, so I can sign some autographs. And again, I want to improve the brand. There's nothing I can do between the lines anymore. But to improve the brand as a whole, I think that I can add value there. And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be challenging. It's gonna be exciting. Again, like Charlie said, it's a new adventure. And me going from player to maybe possibly front office, possibly just a different side of the game or a role, it'd be really cool.
They're gonna be out there. They're
gonna be out there.
They're gonna be like, Alejandro De Aza, can you sign? Can you sign De Aza? Oh no, that's Adam Jones. My bad.
No, Poppy. No, Poppy.
Got a few hundred homers.
Look at that thing.
Hey, what do you got?
It looks like a character from Mario Brothers. It's a Waynesboro
That
Generals.
looks like a hat I would get in on Canal Street or something. They'll be like, no, it's part of the design. It's part of the design. This was made on purpose.
Look at this, sweating like the Orioles in the playoffs. Look at this, all that sweat just everywhere.
Wow.
Nasty.
You got to grade it, Adam. I don't know if you've been on since we do that, but the new addition to Kratz hats before we go here is
good grade for that. First off, I mean, I like the color scheme. I'm a black and red fan. The sweat stains means that he power shagged a lot. He was out there throwing sides. Hey, Kratz, I need you out in center. Come catch some. And, it's okay. That's 106, and don't worry about it. But no, I black and red. I like it. I like the different hats that you have. You wore a lot of hats in your career, and again, it is a blessing to do things like that. It's so many people in the game. It's like my boy Quentin Berry. He knows everybody in baseball because he played with everybody in baseball. So, and to that, his mom has a hat collection of every hat he's ever worn. So, you guys are in collection.
Me and Mrs. Berry. But I know QB doesn't have a Waynesboro Generals hat like this. This is summer ball, Shenandoah Valley League, about 2 hours south of you in Baltimore.
I know Shenandoah Valley, beautiful out there in a little Washington.
Yeah. That's where we live.
I'll give it a B. It's a solid B right there. Hey, we told you all the camps. We'll see everyone next week. And again, happy 1-year anniversary to Foul Territory. We appreciate the fans. We're not here without you. See you Monday.